Let's talk more then about the departure of David Mabuza as Deputy President of the country in the coming days, possibly weeks, and Paul Mashatile being sworn in then as a Member of Parliament. We're joined tonight by Thembisa Fakude, a political analyst. A very good evening to you, sir. I'm grateful for your time. So Vincent Magwenya, spokesperson for the Presidency, says Mabuza has been asked basically to stay on in the interim while the modalities of his exit are finalized. What might those be, and is it absolutely necessary?
Well, it's not necessary, but we know that the Deputy President of the country runs the business of government. So perhaps there are a lot of open files that need to be concluded. But the tone this morning suggested a reluctant president of letting go of his deputy. So we'll have to wait and see. We know that the Deputy President of the ANC, who's supposed to occupy that position, has got no job at the moment until he's sworn in. I think he's already sworn in as an MP, but there seems to be some sort of impatience on him to occupy that position, but the president doesn't seem to be in a hurry to do so.
Well, as per ANC tradition, whoever's elected deputy president has become deputy president of the country, right? It's been almost 2 months since the national conference. You have to wonder why it is that the loose ends around this have not been tied up speedily when everyone would have known which way things are supposed to flow post-conference.
Well, you know that the relationship is now, public knowledge that the relationship between President Cyril Ramaphosa and his deputy is not the best at the moment, particularly just before the conference of the ANC. We know, again, that the slate of President Cyril Ramaphosa preferred Senzo Mchunu before Oscar Maboyane as a compromise was allowed to compete against Paul Mashatile. So the relationship is not great at the moment. Hence the reluctance for the president to move ahead with his reshuffling of his cabinet, because the reshuffling of cabinet will also mean that he has to do the replacement of the deputy president. So it's quite difficult at the moment. Again, we also know that the current deputy president, David Mabuza, and the current president of the ANC, Paul Mashatile, are really good friends. And there is an understanding between the two of them that one must replace the other. But the challenge, of course, sits with the number one, the person who occupies the top position of power in this country, which is President Cyril Ramaphosa, to make that decision.
But ultimately, all of this stalling has no doubt created a bit of drama over what should be a fairly normal process, should it not?
Yes, but I think at the same time, there's been President Cyril Ramaphosa is not the type of person who takes kind to pressure. And there's been calls on a daily basis in this country to have that government reshuffle. And the government reshuffle also means that the deputy president must be replaced. And him dragging his feet, as is known for, a due diligence man, is not making it easy for us as observers and for the general populace in South Africa. People want to see movement. There's a lot of problems in this country, and dragging the government feet in terms of reshuffling and replacing certain cabinet ministers is really keeping a lot of us on tenterhooks.
Should Mabuza then have waited until there was official comms from the presidency about his exit, and perhaps even waited for more broader announcement of a new deputy president and various ministries where we'll now have to see the shuffling of positions?
I think he had to do so to test the waters. This is probably a bigger plan. But at the same time, I've had a lot of people saying he shouldn't have announced his resignation at his brother's funeral. It happens all the time around the world. People make very important announcements at the least places to expect them to do. So you don't have to necessarily call a press conference to announce a resignation. So he had a public platform yesterday, and that's where he indicated his departure. But unfortunately, we heard this morning from Vincent Magwenya that the president is reluctant, and he has asked him to hang on to complete certain duties that he was engaged with.
Lastly, is Mabuza's exit then as deputy president, exit from government in essence, is that a loss for South Africa's public service?
Don't know how to answer that question, but you know what's the general view on David Mabuza in South Africa. So I doubt if it's going to be a loss. I think it's going to be replaced by a much more active person who wants to see certain decision made, the person who was running the ANC for the better part of its last term. So I don't think it's a loss. He's going to be replaced, and I don't think we'll miss him that much. He's not a very healthy person at the moment. He's quite unhealthy, sick. He's got a lot of problems, and I think he can't wait to take this break to go and relax and take care of his health, because at the moment we don't see anything substantial being done by the current Deputy President of the country.
Thembisa Fakude, good to speak to you. Thank you very much.